Hello and welcome to the 43rd episode of The Real List, a podcast about our real list. I'm your host, Ellis.
And I'm your host, Gloria.
And today we have a selection for me. This is actually one that, despite not being on the list, which I didn't realize, I had to add it just now, I have been wanting to do for, since we've had a movie list.
Mm-hmm.
I figured it would have been one of the first ones I put on there, but I think I think
you wanted to put it on there, but you didn't remember the name of it.
No way. There may have been instances where I wanted to and then forgot, but I'm pretty sure we had talked about it, and you couldn't tell me whether you had or had not seen it.
Yeah. Now that I knew, once I knew who the cast was in this movie, I was like, oh, okay, now I know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah, and you had seen, half of it-ish?
I saw, the second half.
You saw the second half up to where Jack Nicholson's character dies,
yes.
Apparently.
Yes.
Yeah, because we got through that part, and I guess we're just going to jump right into it here. I mean, this is The Departed. It's a Scorsese film based on a Hong Kong film called Infernal Affairs. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Mark Wahlberg, Martin Sheen, Ray Winstone, Vera Farmiga, Alec Baldwin, and Anthony Anderson. It's got a star-studded cast. And yeah, our Martin Sheen was what's his name?
Is he related to Charlie Sheen?
Yes, this is Dad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But yeah, that was, Queenan. Which, he's a great character, by the way. He might be one of my favorite characters in this film. I mean, I was sort of drawn to watching this because we just saw Jack Nicholson go insane in The Shining, and I went, I've got another movie where Jack Nicholson is off his rocker. He's just
where Jack Nicholson is off his absolute roll.
Yep, murdering people, taking his dick out at the porno theater.
I don't even think it was his real.
No, it wasn't his real dick, but
I'm gonna say that doesn't look right. That didn't add up.
No. When I was, the first time I saw this, I thought it was his actual dick. And I was just like, whoa! And then I realized on later viewings that I'm pretty sure it's a dildo. But that is one of the couple scenes that I was stuck in my head for the worst of reasons.
It wasn't even like a perfect match dildo. It was a black dildo.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to underscore how it's not his penis. But it is not the most well-lit scene because it's in a porno theater. Take what you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have to ask you then, having not seen the first half of this film, what did you think about the build-up?
To what?
Just in general, sort of the way they put the story together, because I feel like, unlike my complaints with The Shining, the first half of this film is paced very well because it's tackling a lot of things all the time.
I definitely agree, because I feel like this movie is letting you know the characters and giving you a sense of giving you more of a story throughout the entire film. This movie is 2 hours and 31 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a long one.
But yeah, it definitely gives you that build up that you need in a movie, especially like this. I like how they gave us what was his name? I
got the characters up right here.
Matt Damon's character. I like how
Sullivan.
I like how they showed him meeting Costello as a kid, and then just grooming him to be like, oh, you're gonna work for me. And then he works as a cop, and then he's undercover. I mean, I feel like everything ties in really nicely with this movie. And, I mean, like I said, I thought the movie ended when Costello died. I just thought there was going to be one giant shootout, and the movie ended there. But I was apparently wrong.
Yeah. because at one point after that scene, you sort of looked to me like, what, it's not over yet? And my response, I didn't want to say it out loud because it would have spoiled stuff. My response was, no, they've still got characters to kill. Like, this is...
They still got characters to murder. There's no ending yet.
This movie came out in 2006. I remember watching this growing up, and this was maybe my first experience with a movie where, holy crap, everyone dies. You know? Like, the only people that don't die are Dingham, who is someone you do not want to see keep living for most of the time, because he's just a huge jerk for the whole film.
He's a South Bostoneer. Of course he's a jerk.
And Madeline, who, you know, I guess is the closest thing to a pure main character, but she is cheating on, you know, her boyfriend. So
she's cheating on a rat with a rat.
Yeah. I
the
love,
best way to put it.
I love that, though. I love how this movie gives you the premise of, here's your dirty cop, and then it gives you the premise of, here's your cop that they send undercover, and they're happening at the same time, and these plots are going on with them, but not with them together.
They also don't know who each other are.
Right. It just keeps unfolding and unfolding and unfolding through this whole story. What?
I don't want to say this movie was one giant anxiety attack, but it kind of was like, so just, I was sitting on the edge of my seat. I was like, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen now? What's going to happen now?
Because something's always happening, too. And this is like it's at least my third viewing, but probably more than that, because I had a professor in high school who adored this movie, and whenever we didn't have anything to do, it was like, oh, we're going to watch The Departed.
The Departed.
The Departed, yeah. And
that's how they referred to people, though. They referred to them as The Departed.
The Departed, yep.
Yeah.
I love all of the Boston accents in this movie.
Mark Wahlberg is the most authentic Boston accent out of there. But I think Matt Damon did pretty good with the Boston accent.
Matt Damon did a good job.
Leo DiCaprio could have went a little harder.
Yeah.
If he really wanted to give that thick, authentic Boston accent, he could have went a little harder.
It is funny seeing all of these people who you have heard, you know, sort of with their normal voices or with other accents in other movies, all just being Bostonized through the course of this. Like, Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin in my head is Mr. Conductor from Thomas and the Magic Railroad. And
Alec Baldwin is Adam from fucking Beetlejuice for me, okay?
Also true.
But that movie was also supposed to be shot in Connecticut.
What, Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds appropriate. That's what you expect when you go to Connecticut, basically.
If I see a house like that from the house from Beetlejuice like that in Connecticut, I'd be like, we're buying this and moving to Connecticut.
I would say, nope. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Fought a war to not be Connecticut. But...
Well.
But, yeah.
We digress.
This movie keeps unfolding and unfolding and unfolding. It, you know, to contrast it to The Shining, it has so much going on in its opening hour and a half before you reach any semblance of a climax. You know,
I mean, I think with this movie, you're getting more of the background information. You're getting more of what you need to know, who everybody is, where everybody's coming from. And in The Shining, it's just a straightforward point, you know?
Yeah, it's, you know, you're locked in this hotel and slowly going crazy. And this is like, well, you know, there's the different, for lack of a better term, missions, jobs that the mob is going on during this period. I mean, there's the rivalry with the Providence mob that's brought in here and there, which was a real thing.
So my question is when was this movie supposed to actually take place?
This movie takes place in, it's not like a period piece because they have cell phones, so you have to assume that it doesn't actually really take place in any different time than it was made.
Well, I mean, it would be nice to know, like, what, like, you know, give us a time frame to know what kind of, you know, what we're dealing with here, you know?
Well, it's the early 2000s. You know,
okay. Well, when did the mob disappear from from Providence in Boston?
Well, depends who you ask. Because, I mean, while the mob's power may have died with a previous... We did Vault as an episode, right?
We did not do Vault
We
yet,
didn't
but
do Vault as an
we
episode?
watched Vault, though.
We did watch it. Oh, man, that would be a good...
That's because you bought it on Prime.
Oh, yeah, I did buy it. Oh, yeah. Well,
so we own it.
We do own it. We own it on Prime. Yeah. Vault is sort of hey, the mob is losing power now, but it didn't completely go away, even into the 2000s.
Bronx Tale's another good mob movie we should watch.
Well, we've been meaning to watch that one.
Yeah.
Ma,
if you're watching this episode, give me your DVD.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Ma, I won't be home for supper.
Didn't you love that? What did you think of that scene, by the way?
Just him pretending to be the lawyer and telling him to be like, to call your mother and tell you're not going to be home for supper.
The sort of triple play he does where he's telling the cops he's going to pretend to be the lawyer, but he's going there to actually help out the mobster, to help out his boss, to help out Frank Costello. That is such a 4D chess play that even when we came to that scene in the movie, like I said, this is a repeat viewing for me. I love this movie, even though it's not something that I usually go, oh, let's watch The Departed. It is something that I hold this film in very high esteem.
I'm going to be so honest with you. I liked this movie, but I don't think I could sit through another 2 hours and 30 minutes of this movie.
No, I don't, and that's why I don't think I would either, at least not anytime soon. You gotta let it cool off. You gotta be it's gotta be a year or two.
We should watch this with Sunset and Gianna. Sunset loves fucking The Departed.
He likes this movie?
He loves this fucking movie.
Have Gianna seen this movie?
I have, maybe.
Gianna would be confused.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the first time I watched this, I kept getting Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon mixed up, so I was just mightily confused. I did not know who was who.
How do you get Matt Damon and DiCaprio confused?
Because I don't know. Because I can't recognize people. I got Childish Gambino and what's his name mixed up. I can't, for whatever reason, I just don't recognize people. It would explain a lot why I don't remember who any actor or actress is. That I'm just like, the guy from that movie.
Sure, yeah.
What?
He's waiting for his food. He's very hungry.
What are you yaring about?
I was mimicking you, yeah, sure, I know who that is.
Oh, okay. I thought you were mocking my confusion.
No, darling,
I mean, in a sense that you were, but that's not important. What? I want to ask you provocative questions, but I don't know what exactly to ask. Just you did say it was, it's a 2.5 hour long anxiety attack in a sense.
In a way, it to be honest, it great storyline, great plot. Having the guy who passed the academy coming in here and being the rat for his almost his entire life, his entire career.
Yep.
And what, they said a year went by?
It had been, oh god, it had been, this movie takes place over the course of, probably at least half a year, because Sullivan was with Madeline for 4 months a good part of the way through the movie, So, this movie takes place over the course of at least 6 months, if not closer to a year. It's a ways. It's a length of time. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting movie. About the Citizen's Envelope.
I knew that was going to come back around.
I
had a very strong feeling it was going to come back around. I actually do remember the scene where DiCaprio's character finds the envelope on his desk. I remember that scene.
That's a good scene.
I was like, when I first saw that scene, I was like, ah shit, got caught. And then I was watching this with advertisements, so I mean, I switched the channel and I found something more interesting to watch, and I just didn't go back to the movie. So that's all I remember.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I didn't know that Damon died in his own apartment getting shot
by Dingham.
Yeah. What a name. What a last name.
Actually, something to say about Dingham, and of course, about Matt Damon's character as well, is that the banter in this movie is top notch.
Oh man.
It cracks me up.
Do they ever talk about the significance of him being right across, having town hall in his view?
No, I mean, I think he just sort of liked that as that sort of view. He certainly has an affinity for it, because you see him like staring up at it during the training when they're sitting on the bench and everything. So I think it's just like he liked that view, you know? And
Maybe.
Of course that lines up with they were trying to the view behind the rat is a nod to gangster films like Little Caesar, Scarface, and White Heat. This being the original Scarface, the 1932 Scarface. Which I think Scarface is on the list, right?
It is. Not this one, though. Not the original.
No, not the 1932
The one with Pacino. The one with Pacino is the one I know.
Right. And, yeah, I mean, there isn't a ton to say in this movie about that sort of symbolism and about that sort of, like...
I want to know what happens to the baby. I want to know if it's Matt Damon's or if it's DiCaprio's.
I mean, does it really matter? They're both effing dead.
It matters to me.
They both got shot. Like, one lived, like, 5 minutes longer than the other.
It matters to me. I need to know whose baby it is. I'm nosy.
It's her baby. We know that much. We get half the puzzle. But, yeah. I like how Nicholson's character being an FBI informant not only plays into the story very heavily, but is it was a real thing. Whitey Bugler or Bugler, yeah, he was an FBI informant, but he was also a gangster mob boss.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's actually what Costello's character was based on, which is it's fun to sort of see the parallel, or what they took from real life here. I know I mentioned about the mob and its existence, but this isn't necessarily a film that's rooted in fantasy. What?
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something, but I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, but the banter, just like every 5 minutes there's a fight.
Yeah. Nobody can keep their hands off each other in this movie.
Nope. Which it really rides the line between being realistic and being ridiculous, if you ask me. And I think it airs on the right side of that line.
I also want to bring up how the alleyway scene.
Which one?
Where they're chasing each other, where they're on each other's tails. Sullivan just stabs an innocent man. Like,
you can watch, and it is kind of subtle, but you can watch Sullivan get sort of disillusioned throughout the latter half of the film. I mean, not Matt Damon's character. Leonardo DiCaprio's character,
is taking drugs. He was on Valium and what was it, oxycodone?
He was doing oxy. He was doing Valium.
He was taking his dead mother's drug prescription.
That's right.
And then
I missed that, actually.
And then he went to the therapist and was like, I need Valium. And she gave him fucking Valium.
Yeah, what a scene that is. I know you could say that about every other scene in this film, but...
And he was like, you want to get a coffee? And I'm like, bruh.
Yeah. Well, you shoot your shot when you can, I guess.
Want to get coffee? You want coffee?
You want a coffee? I made coffee! The whole, like, progression of Sullivan being this, like, yeah, I'm gonna be a dirty cop, I'm gonna be the best dirty cop I can be, all the way through to, I've killed an innocent man, and now I am turning...
He was slowly going down the down spiral. Him and DiCaprio's character were both slowly deteriorating themselves just trying to stay as an undercover and then also trying to stay as a rat. They were just.
Yep. I mean, if you ask me, Costigan was deteriorating very quickly. Bless you.
Yeah, he couldn't handle being an undercover cop.
No, and meanwhile, again, you sort of see Sullivan come unraveled, and he's having his doubts. He's still trying to do what he can do for Costello.
He's also lying to his girlfriend, who was pregnant.
Well, yeah. And then when he finds out that Costello is the FBI informant, that's when he's just like, what am I doing this for?
Yeah, he was like, fuck you. He was like, all that fucking and no sons. And then he like shot him multiple times, and I was like, damn.
Yeah. No, that scene is pretty intense. I do like how you see the switch flip and be like, well, wait, why am I
helping you if you were going to turn me in eventually?
Mm-hmm.
And even in the elevator scene where DiCaprio's character has Damon's character, and they're coming down the stairs and stuff, and fucking the other cop shoots him. The other rat. Whatever.
Oh, the other rat. Yeah. The
other rat shoots DiCaprio's character, and it was like, "Oh, you didn't think you were the only one, did you?"
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh, we gotta take care of each other," and fucking kills fucking the other guy. And then I don't know names. Okay.
No, I know. That's who was that? Was that
Was it Phil?
Was it Phil? Shea Duffin as Phil? No, maybe. Hold on. Let's see. Nope. He doesn't even have a.
He's dead.
Yeah. Is he dead? Oh yeah, he died.
No, that can't be him.
No, it's not him. No, he was the bartender.
Ah.
Okay. Well, either way, one of these guys in here. One of these guys in here was the other. Was that him? That's him? James Dale.
Maybe.
But either way, yeah, the other rat.
The other rat shot
The other rat shot Costigan.
Yeah. And
then gets shot.
Yeah, by Sullivan.
Yep.
Which was like, why are you gonna double cross somebody who's supposed to be helping you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that whole
that
sequence...
scene threw me off. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Just...
Why are you shooting somebody that helped you? I mean, I get it. No ties, obviously. Like, no witnesses, but...
Well, he doesn't want to be a mobster, is the thing. By the end of the movie, he's just like, yeah, I just want to be a cop, you know?
Who, Costigan or Sullivan?
Sullivan. Because he goes... Like, he's trying to make amends with his girlfriend. He goes through the whole thing. You know, he kills off that guy where he could have had the opportunity to sort of go and be a mobster or whatever.
Being a mobster sounds like too much work.
No, it sounds like a lot of stress. Point is, that was his ticket to sort of the life of crime, and he says no to it by blowing that guy's brains out.
He's like, we're the only ones left. We gotta look out for each other.
Yeah.
Nope.
So that he can just go back to being a cop.
Little did he know.
Which is interesting because they sort of talk up DiCaprio's character as someone who could do anything, could be anything. I mean, that's one of the things that Keenan and Dingham say to him in the office the first time, which is like, in 5 years you can be whatever you want. You can be an astronaut with the grades you got. Why are you a statey? And that's why they have him go into the undercover thing in the first place, or part of the reason anyway. But they don't really talk up Matt Damon's character in that same way. Like, it's clear that he's a capable dude, but if I remember right, it's, he's not like a top of his class sort of individual that DiCaprio's character was. So maybe this really is the best he could do. I mean, he has this fancy place, so clearly he's getting plenty of money for his job. He's probably fairly content with that, and would have just liked to go back to it had he not got his brains blown out in his apartment.
Also, did you notice that when Wahlberg shot Damon's character, he shot him sideways. Like he managed to shoot him in the side of the head instead of in front of the head.
Uh, sort of. Yeah, I mean the blood splatters against the door. Um,
But it
I,
also went into the hallway.
yeah.
But if you look, if you pause it at the last second, you can see that the bullet is in the side of his head, not in the front of his head.
Hmm. I don't know. That's one of those little things. I guess can't be perfect. Which it's probably, I mean, bottom line, it's probably what he would have wanted to do. So the blood gets on the door and the bullet doesn't go into the hallway. A lot of perfect headshots in this movie that don't seem necessarily feasible, especially in that last sequence. And nevertheless, I will never stop replaying that sequence because it's just so shocking. Just the elevator scenes.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. I
mean,
what a sight! Just like you think you're gonna get killed, and then you get the person that's holding you, like, quote unquote hostage, kind of get shot right next to you, and you're just like,
I have one more question for you.
What?
Because this relates to the moment the film goes off the rails, which is when they throw Keenan off the roof. Mm-hmm. Did you realize that what's his name, Delahunt, gave DiCaprio the wrong address? Did you catch that?
Yeah, he said 314 instead of 344.
And I remembered that being significant, but I couldn't remember why. Mm-hmm. And because I remembered the scene where he's on the couch and he's like, I gave you the wrong address, but you still showed up. And I was always wondering why that didn't lead to him being uncovered, and it's because that guy was also an undercover. I don't know. It's such a...
Oh, that's right. He was an undercover
cop. It's such a complicated film. It blows my mind every time I watch it because it's not, it's not one of those films where you're like, you notice a new joke every time. It's one of those films where you go, oh, that's why that happened, or that's what this person was doing, or that's what this person wanted. I feel like you come out of this on your first viewing with so many questions because you can't possibly take all of this information in, even over the course of 2.5 hours. But this is not the kind of movie that you can just, you know what, I'm going to put that on a Thursday night. Let's just watch The Departed again. That sounds like fun. Not for me, anyway. But, I am going... You know what, I'm not going to hold back here. I'm going to give this thing 5 stars. I love The Departed. It's an outstanding movie, even if it's not easy viewing. It's not supposed to be.
No, we watched it on the 7th, darling.
We watched... Oh, right, because it's past midnight. Oops. What about you, though?
I'm going to give it a 5 as well.
You're going to give it a 5?
It was a long movie, but at the same time, it was a good movie. I have nothing bad to say about this movie.
It's one of those where you can really delight in showing it to people who have never seen it before, or have never seen it in a long time and don't remember much about it, because you can get their expressions and their reactions when it's like, oh God, are they going to figure out find out about each other now? Or how about now?
I thought that Matt Damon's character was going to find out about DiCaprio way, way earlier on in the film. Mm-hmm. But I was very shocked to find out that they didn't find out till last minute.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how they managed to avoid each other, and then how they managed to track each other down towards the end. Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting it with the phone call, calling him from Queen's phone.
I was about to bring that up. You read my mind.
I was such not expecting it.
Where they're both on the phone and just not saying anything. Like, yeah.
Just heavy breathing.
And also...
Insert subtitles, heavy breathing.
Yeah. And also Damon's character just being like, oh, I'm in charge of you now. You should come in. And it's like, oh my God. He's doing these, like, 400 IQ plays, It's incredible. And I talked about his character's intelligence not being as hyped up as DiCaprio's, but just over the course of the film, you get to see how freaking smart he is and able to think on his feet and think on the spot to get out of these situations.
Yeah, that was insane. Also, the scene where they're doing the what is it, the
What's up?
what is it called, the stakeout, where they're doing the stakeout and he's like no phones and he's texting him through his pocket.
Yep.
Like no phones.
Did you ever have a flip phone like that?
I did. My first phone was a Verizon flip phone.
Were you able to text people in your pocket without
No,
looking?
I was not.
Oh man, I used to be able to do that. That was the best.
I got yelled at for actually texting people on my phone. They were like, "You're gonna use your minute, just call them." And I'm like, I guess. And now I have unlimited minutes and I can text whoever the hell I want.
Yeah, no, I remember living on limited texts and minutes, and and being able to type stuff out without looking.
I was not able to do that. I was not as skilled as.
These are the skills that we've lost with the advance of technology: the ability to type in your pocket and the necessity to remember a phone number.
I remember phone numbers.
Yeah, but you used to have to remember phone numbers. I
used to be really good at remembering phone numbers.
Well, so did I, and then I forgot them all. Because why would I? Why would I? I don't need to do that
pot,
anymore.
So I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
My head hurts.
Well, we'll wrap up right now. Thank you all for watching this episode of The Realist. If you have seen The Departed, leave a comment, etc. If you haven't seen The Departed, effing watch this movie.
Fucking watch it.
This is a more thrilling ride than The Shining.
Next movie is The Game Plan. It involves Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Okay. And next movie after that is it's another one about a game.
No, we're not. I'm not participating in any movies about games. Not.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I'm not watching Jungle Cruise and I'm not watching Jumanji.
What does Jungle Cruise have to do with games?
You said game.
Game. Yeah. What does Jungle Cruise have to do with a game?
Isn't it from a game or is it a ride?
It's a ride.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
No. I was thinking War Game. War Games. That's a classic.
Oh, okay.
It's got chess in it.
I'm not watching. No, we're not watching Jumanji.
We're watching Jumanji.
We're
I
not.
want to watch Jumanji.
We're not.
I want to watch Jumanji.
No.
Tell Gloria we should watch Jumanji with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
No, not watching it.
What's wrong with Jungle Cruise?
I don't want to watch it.
No?
Doesn't look good to me. Don't want to watch it.
It looks pretty entertaining to me.
Does not look good to me.
It takes inspiration from African Queen, though. I feel like I'm obligated to watch it. I grew up on African Queen.
Do not want to watch it. End of discussion.
Okay, we'll watch another great movie with Alec Baldwin then. Thomas and the Magic Railroad.
God.